Why does Nick Bilton want to build a hotel and casino in the Arctic Circle? Let's unpack it. Extrapolations is a new series on Apple TV Plus. And the first few episodes have dropped. This is going to be about the first episode, entitled A Raven's Story. Before I go any further, this will be your spoiler warning. Okay? The entire series takes place after several time jumps. All the stories having to do with climate change and how it's affecting the Earth and the people that live on it and the animals that live on it. So the first episode takes place in 2037. So a few years in our future. And the world's richest man is the man by the name of Nick Bilton. And Nick Bilton wants to build a hotel and casino in the Arctic Circle. First one ever in the Arctic Circle. We learn that there is a gigantic climate conference happening in Tel Aviv called the COP42. And they're trying to keep the temperature rise on average of the planet below a certain threshold. At this point in 2037, we've already gone to 1.8 degrees above what used to be normal. And so there's a lot of glacier melting. The glaciers are breaking up. And we see a lot of that. So the conference is trying to get the world to commit to keeping the temperature change below 2 degrees total change. But the world is petitioning, some of the world is petitioning Nick Bilton specifically because he holds the patents for effective desalination. And what desalination means is you can take salty ocean water and remove the salt from it, making it fresh water so that people can drink it. And as more water becomes salt water on planet Earth, as the oceans flood lakes, and the lakes stop being fresh water and become salt water or brine, or there's a word for it when fresh water and salt water mix. Let me know in the comments what that was. I should have looked that up. But so he holds those patents. He goes to speak at the conference and negotiates that if he gifts the patents and doesn't charge for patent infringement, that everybody agrees that the cap for the temperature will now be 2.3 degrees. He would like the temperature to keep pushing forward for his business reasons. We find out that he has sent his lawyer's son to the Arctic to look at the site. He's referred to as Junior. Junior runs into trouble at the site because the Chinese have already set up camp and they're claiming the island. Junior figures out that there is precious materials on the island, not the least of which is gold, but also nickel and cobalt needed to make batteries, which is apparently a big deal in 2037. Junior's brother is becoming a rabbi. At the same time this is all happening, and Junior's father is there with the other brother, trying to convince him to go back to Miami. The brother, becoming a rabbi, doesn't want to go back to Miami, wants to stay and do good work. Now, everywhere we go in this episode, there are forest fires burning near enough by that it's hard to breathe. The air is polluted from the smoke. Junior does meet his demise while fantasizing about shooting a baby sea lion, a walrus. The parent appears above him and then runs him through with his tusks and tramples him on the shoreline, killing him. We don't actually see the death. We see him dead. And that was pretty big. We do see that Junior's father does pause in his phone conversations to see that his wife has fallen down a flight of stairs or had a medical issue that caused her to fall down a flight of stairs. And when they get her to the hospital and the rabbi's son gets the report from the doctor, the son reports to the dad the status of the mother, wife, only to find out the dad's on the phone. He's not listening the whole time. So there's an argument. And what we find out in the end is that Nick wants the permission to build the hotel to get the mining variances so that he can mine that spot for the cobalt and nickel. So what do we learn in this episode? What do we cover in this episode? There is obviously the climate crisis is getting critical. Half of the world's countries don't have enough drinking water because of the climate change. Corporations are ruining the planet by continuously strip mining the earth of all of its natural resources. The temperature has risen by almost 2 degrees worldwide, and from 1.5 degrees in less than a decade. The earth is heating rapidly. It's causing famine, it's causing droughts, it's causing weather issues, and it's causing an high increase in forest fires. Not to mention the air is becoming unbreathable globally because of all the fires and pollution. This causes political uprisings everywhere. The consensus, though, is to keep the temperature down below 2 degrees. And we go on. So this series is not going to be for everybody, I don't think. It's allowing actors to thoughtfully portray things. It's not a fast-paced story. It is a slow burn. So in that case, I guess it could be said that it is an artful piece. So sort of like Foundation on Apple TV Plus. Not going to be for everybody, but if you find that it's for you, it's fantastic. It is riveting. They are sticking to the science of what can happen at the temperature changes. So the next episode will jump a few years into the future. This one was in 2037. And each episode will jump a little further into the future. So we'll deal with that as we go. Everybody in this did really well. The King of the North going above the Arctic Circle is kind of funny to me. But no, he was good. He didn't have to do a whole lot in this one. But I'm liking this show so far, certainly through this episode. I will be back with the other episodes. So in the comments, let me know what you think, both of this show, the handling of it, this cast. Do you think they've overcast this show? There's a lot of stars turning up in Extrapolations. Is it a distraction from the story, or does it lend credence to the story? And of course, how do you feel about how close they are to, the actual things we're dealing with? Okay, so far, I'm liking this show on Apple TV Plus. I hope you are too. If you're liking this review and want to see others like it, hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss any content as it drops. All right? And if there's other shows that you're watching, let me know what you're watching, and I'll cover those too. All right? My name's Sean. This is Sean's Take. The more you know. See you next time.